All right, we do welcome you tonight. We proudly welcome Apolo Anton Ono to the program right now. You have seen him, obviously, if you're an Olympic fan. Even if you're not necessarily a speed skating fan, you know this young man. He took the world by storm just a few years back and now has put together a rather nice resume of 2 Olympic gold medals. More to come, we hope and anticipate. Plus, a rather strategically important and successful appearance on Dancing with the Stars. We welcome you to the program. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
You are... When you know, there are athletes out there who train like crazy, who make it to the Olympics, who win, and people go, that's nice. They didn't really know who they were, and they kind of forget about them rather quickly. It is unfortunate, but it's fortunate for you in that you became a public figure because of a combination of things. What do you think that was?
You know, I don't know what you know, possessed people to be attracted to the screen in 2002. You know, I think as a country, people were trying to come together, and it was the first time the Olympic Games were held in Salt Lake City. They did a fantastic job of hosting, you know, and I was a young kid just going out there and having fun. It was my first, you know, Winter Olympic Games experience. NBC showcased my struggles and trials and tribulations as a younger kid with my father, and I think I just related to many other teenagers at the same age, and I'm sure my father and, you know, our representation of our relationship did the same thing, and I think people really, they liked that. They saw our relationship, they saw how we grew and what I was trying to accomplish for the country, and when I was successful, people clapped, and I was able to emerge, I don't know, somewhat of a...
Talk to me about this sport, the speed skating. As you do it, it's a little different than what was years and years ago. Well, speed skating, isn't it?
I mean, short track speed skating generally, what people should know is it's not on the big outdoor oval rink that most people think it is. It's basically on an NHL sized hockey rink that's Olympic sized, and we race against other skaters. You know, between 4 or 5, sometimes 6 skaters on the line at the same time. It's a 111-meter track. And we skate about 40 miles an hour, turn and stop on a dime.
Yeah.
And, you know, it has all the aspects of basically NASCAR on ice.
I was just going to say, it's like stock car racing on ice, isn't it?
It's insane. I mean, from the drafting to the passing to the control of the race. I mean, the guys are skating so close to each other, you know, inches apart, and yet we have total control of where we are.
Do you think, like NASCAR, people are waiting for the big wreck?
Absolutely. I mean, half of my friends who watch the races, they say they can't wait for somebody to fall. The sport is dangerous. I don't want to see that, but
but when somebody
American people like to see it. They want to see excitement. They want to see speed. They want to see that, you know, that dynamic sport.
And because you're so close together, when somebody falls, it's not all that uncommon for somebody else to suddenly go down with you.
Because we're so close.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened in my first debut in the Olympic Games in 2002. Is, you know, I was literally probably 15 feet from the finish line, going like 35, 40 miles an hour, and just like that in the wall.
Yeah.
You know, and I was able to get up, luckily, and just instinctively cross the line and finish second. And from then on out, it was kind of a whirlwind.
You know, I remember years ago watching was it Eric Heiden was the big skating star years and years ago outside on the huge rink and the whole thing like that. When did this sport suddenly take shape, this type of speed skating?
In 1988, it debuted as an exhibition sport. Then 92, 94, we had some Olympic medalists on the women's side and on the men's side.
But before all that, I mean, people were doing it and it just hadn't been taken to the next level?
It still has not been taken to the next level in the United States. It's still not a mainstream sport.
Where's it big? Where was it big first?
It's always been big in Canada. Now it's recently huge in South Korea, huge in China, and Japan is, you know, obviously a very big power player in the sport. Most people think because it's short track speed skating, the guys are a little bit shorter, a little bit lighter, but we've had some great skaters at about 6'2", 6'3".
You need a lot of leverage there. You got to angulate yourself. Is that what it's like when you're making those turns? I was trying to figure out what it must be like. Is it kind of like in any way like skiing, where you're trying to cut that edge and you're trying to angulate your body, or what?
Imagine yourself balancing on a piece of metal that's 1 millimeter thick underneath your shoe, and then you angle that piece of metal almost flat, parallel against the ice.
That's extraordinary.
And the only thing that you're digging into is that edge.
Yeah.
going 30 miles an hour.
Are the skates a lot different than, say, speed skating skates were traditionally?
Yes. In long track, they're using the clap skate now, the clap mechanism, where they push and the blade still stays on the ground because the heel is lifting off. And ours is obviously a fixed skate because we're racing and so interactive that you can't,
Is the blade much thinner than, say, a hockey skate blade would be?
Oh, yeah. Or, we're about 1.1 millimeters thick.
Wow.
Very thin. It's razor sharp.
How did you decide to start doing this kind of speed?
My story, and my father and I, we both watched the Winter Olympics in 1992, 1994. And 1994, I said, you know what, that looks like a lot of fun. This is a sport unlike anything I've ever seen before. I asked my father, I was like, Dad, I want to try this. Where can we try this? And basically that Christmas...
And you were living where at the time?
Seattle. Hometown Seattle. Okay. And had some skates under the tree. And I was always involved in swimming and some other athletics, but never to the Olympic degree or had Olympic aspirations. And I slowly started becoming, used to skating on the ice. I started to travel back and forth to Vancouver, BC. And what's kind of interesting now is that, my career started in Seattle, obviously. I started to learn how to skate traveling back and forth to Vancouver, BC. Back and forth, my father would drive me. And then I moved to New York to train for a year at age 14. I had my first Winter Olympics debut in Salt Lake City, Utah, in the 2002 Olympic Games. Performed well. Did well in Italy in 2006 Winter Olympic Games. And then now, at the end of my career, I am actually moving back to Salt Lake City to train, and my last Winter Olympic Games is going to be in Vancouver. So I'm almost becoming full circle.
Why is the end of your career? How old are you now?
Well, it's my third Olympic Games. I'm only 25.
Yeah.
As of now, I have 5 Olympic medals, and I feel like I've accomplished. I said that after my last race in Torino, I had felt that I could walk away at any point in my life and just say, you know what, I have done everything I possibly want to do.
And there's only a handful of world-class athletes, regardless of sport, who walked away at the top. I want to talk about that, Dancing with Stars, and